Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely monumental nation-building effort. We're going to trace India's absolute massive fight against substance abuse. We'll start by unpacking the stark national statistics that really sparked this whole movement. Then we'll break down the government's strategic game plan and finally follow the timeline right down to a personal, digital pledge that over a crore of young people are taking literally today. So if you're looking to understand exactly how macro-level national policies translate into micro-level, on-the-ground action, you are in the exact right place. Let's get into it.
To really wrap our heads around the solution, we first have to understand the sheer scale of the crisis. 16 crore. Based on India's first-ever comprehensive national survey on substance abuse back in 2018, that is the estimated number of individuals using alcohol in the country. It's a staggering figure, right? And it immediately puts into perspective exactly why this issue demands a response on a nationwide, all-hands-on-deck scale.
Okay, so here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, India's substance abuse crisis. Second, the Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. Third, the 2026 youth movement. Fourth, campus action and policies. And finally, number 5, taking the digital pledge.
To give you the essential chronological context, here's how this entire mission has evolved over time. It all kicks off with that foundational data from the 2018 survey. That data directly triggered the launch of the Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan in August 2020. Fast forward to May 2025, and the campaign had already hit some truly massive sensitization and rehabilitation milestones. And that brings us right to August 2026, marking the launch of an unprecedented 100-week youth-led movement.
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the crisis, substance abuse data.
So back in 2018, the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment teamed up with AIMS in New Delhi to run a comprehensive survey. They needed to accurately gauge the actual depth of drug dependency across the country. And what's truly striking about these numbers is how they humanize the data. We aren't just talking about casual use here. We are talking about severe, life-altering dependency. Out of those 16 crore alcohol users, more than 5.7 crore are severely dependent and need immediate medical support. For cannabis, you've got 3.1 crore users with 25 lakh suffering from severe dependency. And opioids, which we know is one of the most harmful categories, affect 2.26 crore people, with nearly 77 lakh requiring urgent intervention. This isn't just some statistical anomaly, it represents tens of millions of families in real distress.
But honestly, perhaps the most critical and heartbreaking takeaway from that 2018 survey is a highly alarming trend. The prevalence of inhalant usage among children and adolescents actually exceeds adult consumption. Now, when we ask why the government's latest strategies lean so heavily on youth intervention and strict campus policies, this specific data point right here is the answer. Protecting the youngest demographic is, without a doubt, the single most vital component of the entire strategy.
Moving on to Section 2, Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, nationwide campaign.
Recognizing just how severe those 2018 findings were, the government officially launched the Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, often called NMBA, on August 15, 2020. Initially, it targeted 272 high-risk districts, but it's since expanded to cover literally every single district in the nation. The whole logic of this campaign is built like a three-legged stool, ensuring the crisis is tackled from every possible angle. Step 1 is supply control, heavily managed by the Narcotics Control Bureau to just cut off the flow of illicit substances. Step 2 focuses on demand reduction and awareness, led by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment through massive grassroots outreach. And Step 3 is treatment and rehabilitation, provided by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It is a highly structured, multi-ministry approach.
And by May 2025, the macro impact of this campaign was just huge. Just think about the scale of these milestones for a second. Through local grassroots outreach, over 15.58 crore people were sensitized. That includes over 5 crore youth and 3 crore women. But the best part? It wasn't just about raising awareness. Real action was taken. More than 27.76 lakh individuals were treated and rehabilitated across over 730 totally free de-addiction centers. The physical infrastructure for recovery was firmly put in place.
Which brings us to Section 3, the 2026 youth movement, Viksit Bharat Sankalp.
So, fast forward to August 2026. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches the next highly dynamic phase of this mission, the Nasha Mukta Yuva for Viksit Bharat Sankalp Abhiyan, which essentially pushes the entire movement directly into the hands of the youth. We're fundamentally moving away from those traditional, conventional awareness programs that are mostly just passive, occasional events. Instead, the government conceptualized a 100-week sustained John Bagadari, or People's Participation Movement. This means every single Sunday for 100 weeks, youth-led activities like sports, walkathons, and discussion forums will actively channel young energy into constructive community building.
This massive shift is anchored in the proposed National Youth Policy 2026. It represents a real strategic evolution, explicitly shifting toward holistic human capital development, emphasizing civic responsibility, sustainability, and leadership. By utilizing the MY Bharat digital platform, this policy positions young people not just as passive beneficiaries of government handouts, but as the active agents of change required to build a Viksit Bharat or developed India by 2047.
Let's bring this down to the local level. In Section 4, Campus Action, Institutional Policies.
So it's one thing to have a grand national mandate, but how does this actually work on the ground? Well, zooming into the university level, Sikkim Alpine University's 2025 policy serves as a perfect microexample of how educational institutions are executing this vision. Following direct orders from the University Grants Commission, they established a dedicated Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan Committee, or NMBAC, to enforce a drug-free campus through a very specific set of daily protocols.
Their policy is a really interesting mix of strict enforcement and genuine support. For starters, students have to sign mandatory declarations against substance use the moment they are admitted. The university also uses anonymous reporting mechanisms and conducts justified random checks in hostels. But, and this is absolutely crucial, notice those last 2 points. They integrate all of this heavily with mental health cells and offer an amnesty window. This voluntary disclosure option means that before any punitive action is taken, students are heavily encouraged to seek help safely, without the immediate fear of being expelled. It's a very balanced, empathetic approach to a highly complex problem.
And finally, Section 5, the Digital Pledge. Join the movement.
We've looked at the national data, we've explored the campus policies, but how can you, the person listening right now, actually participate today? Well, the government has made joining this movement incredibly straightforward through a simple 5-step sequence. You just visit mybharat.gov.in, navigate to the Nasha Mukt Pledge page, carefully read the text committing yourself to a drug-free lifestyle, fill in your details, and hit submit. Easy as that.
Once you're on the portal, you just scroll down and plug in your basic demographic details, your name, mobile number, date of birth, your state, and your district. There's also a quick option to enter a referral code if a volunteer guided you there. After that, you simply click that bright orange I Pledge button at the bottom of the screen.
And the moment you submit, you get an immediate reward. A pop-up generates your official digital certificate of recognition straight from the Government of India, officially acknowledging your commitment to the movement. The platform really encourages you to download the certificate and share it proudly across all your social media handles. Doing that amplifies the awareness and inspires your own friends and peers to join the cause too.
So, if you're a focused learner wanting to turn all this information into immediate action, I highly encourage you to pull out your phone and scan the official QR code right now. By doing so, you'll be joining over 1 crore young people across nearly 10,000 locations who are simultaneously taking this exact same pledge today to help build a healthier society.
Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder. The structures are all in place, from the Narcotics Control Bureau securing the borders, to universities creating safe, empathetic campuses, to the slick digital infrastructure of MY Bharat. But here's the reality. A 100-week people's movement only works if the people actually move. So will you step up as a Nasha Mukta Yuva volunteer to help build a drug-free Viksit Bharat by 2047? The choice, and ultimately the future, is entirely in your hands.